All right, so today we're going to hopefully finish the halachas of Mu'oinen and Mechashav, that's in Yerideh Kuf Ayin Tes. So it's brought over here. And the Yagim la'aruch shulchan in mene machal belela milo v'oimrim shu l'mazal latinak osur. So the Shulchan Aruch brings, and again, Kuf Ayin Tes, Halacha Yitzchak Yerideh, people that set up the table with food the night before the bris milah, which is by the Ashkenazim they call it vach nacht, by the Sfardim they call it bris yitzchak. It says over here it's osur. It's osur. So how people do it? The Sfardim, the Ashkenazim, the different, like I said, the different styles what they do over there, what they learn over there. According to the Mechaber, it's osur. So the Ramah telling you on this one that the Agov the Ramah vayen leil siman kuf ayin ches. It sends you of the previous chapter. What the Ramah says over there? It's like this. Yesh in kuf ayin ches. Yesh mekoyme shenagul aruch shulchan v'losim olav mina machal balayla shel mocher molin atinok, meaning the night before the bris milah. V'yesh b'zeh isur. Again, the Ramah is not choylek on the Mechaber. He says v'yesh b'zeh isur mishuma orchim legad shulchan, meaning God is in of mazal. Like you believe in some kind of mazalas and mysticism, and it's part of this halachas. Mo'oinen mechashav, you believe in some mystical stuff. He says, aval la'aruch mita lemazal latinok yesh matirin. To set up the table, you're not allowed to make it a bed, but mazel of the tinok, that you're allowed to do. We're going to talk about this. So the question again, why we're doing then this, like I said, either the vach nacht or the bris yitzchak. Why? What's the head of the chayra? It looks like osur.
It's not a prayer.
Yeah.
It's a new event. It's a מיוחד לבrit yitzchak. זה לא שמכינים.
Okay, so here's what the shach says. Say like this. The shach says, mikol mokem, asher nahagim ba'artzas elu. Again, the shach talks about the European communities. Shoisam suda balayla shalamocher molim gatinik shekarim vach nacht. Yeah, he says, and isur. So what's the issue of the Mechaber? What the Mechaber and the Ramah talking about? The davka losu mina machal ala shulchan v'la'anicham sham kach osur. To set up the table and do nothing, just set a nice table and do not suuda, not the davening, learning, just set a table for the mazel. That's osur. Again, if you're not going to eat, they're just doing it for mazel. You do what people do, they give people to eat food. It's not made for mazel. If to leave it there for mazel, we're going to talk about in a minute where it's coming from this. So that's also, he said. Meaning, to set the table for people to eat, that's not a problem. Some people, they used to do, we're going to see where it's coming from, just to set a nice table to make it like a mazel. Said that's awesome. That's because that's like you're doing it something mystical to bring mazel. We don't do that. So the chayra, that's also a problem. Why? There is a Gemara in Maseches Moed Kotan, in Maseches Sanhedrin, that they used to do this. For example, the Ramah himself says, "Aval mito you're allowed to do." The Gemara says up there, "My dargash," that talks about the halachas of Ovel. The Gemara says, "Omarula arsa de gado." Arsa. It's bad. The gado is mazel. Rashi says, "Mito shemayachdim oisel lemazel toiv, v'en mishtamshim bo klum." They used to put a bed in time of Chazal, bed for a good luck, for good mazel. They didn't use it bichlal. It was set up nicely. Ela miyachdim oisel lishres mazel toiv aleya. So why? So now we're coming. The Ramah also said that mito you're allowed to do, shulchan you're not allowed to do. What's the difference? If you're not allowed to believe in Menachesh, it's in halachas of Menachesh Umechashev U'Oinen. If you're not allowed to believe in mystical inyanim stam segulas, there's no makor. So why a table you're not allowed to do? A bed you're allowed to do lamazal. Again, what we said already, we'll do the suda. It's not b'chlal zeh. We're doing that for the mazel tov. They're doing over there a suda. We're going to see soon where the suda coming from. But the chayra there's a shayla. Plus, furthermore, we see other inyanim that we have in this that people do looks like a mystical stuff. For example, on Leila Seder, a lot of people pour, that's brought in halacha, 5th cup, kosher aliyah hanovi. Nobody eating it, nobody drinking it. So the chayra, it's also something mystical. Why are you pouring? Plus, in Hilchas Bris Milah, you're there, Reish Samach Hey, it's brought over there like this. That they used to bring put I'm going to read from the tour. Yeah, Reish Samach Hey. Nohagim al pi hamedrash lasas kisa le'elio. We know by the Bris Milah we do kisa le'elio. Shenem hashomar konda kinesi la'avaya. He says, I overu brischa. When Leon came to Kadosh Baruch Hu, told him the Bnei Yisrael left your covenant with you. They're going farther away from you. Hashem told him, "Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Chayecha, she'en lo yisim bris milah asher tira be'enecha." You saying, "Don't do bris milah." They're going away from me. Every bris milah, they're not going to do till you're going to come. I'm going to make you to come and see it. That they do bris milah. Now, because every bris milah, because he said such a thing about Klal Yisrael, also brisech, Hashem says, no, you're going to watch yourself and testify to me. Come back to me, tell me, yes, they do bris milah. So, it's also mystical. What's Kisah Shel Eliyahu? So the term is like this. The Gabe, the Inyan of what they did, the bed for the Gabe that they did the bed for Mazel, so, and that's going to teach us. We're going to understand this, the idea when we're not allowed to do something mystical, when we're allowed to do. When the mystical has some science behind it, some understanding, logic that you're allowed to do. When there's no explanation, just like we're not going, they do all kind of mysticism. That's awesome. So to put a table with food, with nobody eating it, if you people eating it, so you're doing it to eat. That's not from Mazel. From Mazel, where it's coming from? Who said that brings Mazel? That's already you believe. That's Menachesh already. You believe in all kind of mystical. That's you're not allowed to do. People come to eat. That you're allowed to do. Now, the Gabe the bed and the Gabe Kol Shel Eliyahu and the Gabe Kisah Shel Eliyahu. That's not the problem. Why? Because the Meforshim says the idea of the bed has a logic to it. What's the logic? The Gemara in Pesachim says there's a Malach Mumune ala Parnose. And his Shmei is Noki, the Noki of different Gersoes. He likes clean. He comes to the homes where everything is clean. He's a Malach Mamuna ala Parnosa, ala Shirus. So you see a dirty place, says, I'm not coming there. Adarabah. In the dirty place, the Gemara says, there's a Malach Mamuna ala Anius. He brings poverty. His name is Novel. He likes nasty places. A dirty place says, I'm going to come there. It's a good place for me. I like the dirty places. If you want to chase away the Malach of Anius, and you want to bring to your house Malach of Ashirus, you keep the house clean. Then the Malach Ashirus says, it's a house I want to come in. I like this hotel. It's 5-star hotel. I want to be here. I like it. So that's why they used to put a bed, nice bed, not touch it, in case one place is very nice. Any time that Malach comes, say, oh, it's a place I could dwell here. That has some logic to it. You want to attract. There is such a thing. Hashem created that Malach, Mamuna ala Shirus, with his nature. He likes clean. So that's you're allowed to do. Something in the Kisah Shel Eliyahu, since Hashem says Eliyahu are going to come to every bris, so the Levush says we're saying Kisah Shel Eliyahu by the bris milah. So the Levush says with that we're inviting him to the bris, or we have the minhag that says Kisah Shel Eliyahu to say it's not for some mazolas, we're doing it for Eliyahu Hanavi. It's not believing some mystical stuff. No, it's sending Kisah Shel Eliyahu. Because it's a night that Musuga Geula was saying we have a course for you, come and Bavasar os the Geula. The thing that has some seichel to it, you're allowed to do, but think of just making a table for Mazel, where it says such thing. Especially it says in the Apostle, Oisim la God shulchan, that was Darcha with the Zorah, that we don't do. So Lamaisem, going back to it, that the night of the vach nacht, we could do it, and because that's achila, it's not you doing some mystical, dumb, empty table or without people, just food on it, nice. That doesn't say anywhere. That's part of nichush. But like the Shach says, well, and was the isur for eating. If you're eating it, then was the isur. However, the Dogel Rabbi points out that he says the en isur maybe mashma en isur. I'm sorry. The Pesach Shuvah points out mashma the mitzvah vaday lesba. When it's according to the Pesach Shuvah, based on this shach and the isur, you could make the suda brit yitzchak vach nacht, but it's no mitzvah. However, mashma for many poskim there is a mitzvah too, because that's what's called. We call it Yeshua Saben. The Gemara in Sanhedrin says that one time Rab, Shmuel, and other Moroim came to the Yeshua. What's Yeshua? Yeshua Saben, meaning that he came out of the mother's womb. That says Yeshua, and they used to make they used to make for him a suda. Oh, so the meaning of that suda, the Ramon Resh Samachei brings, the meaning of the suda was here. Suda Mishta Belel Shabbos. That's what we call Shalom Zocher. La'achar shenol zocher v'nichosim etzelatim litam shambu gam ken sudas mitzvah. That's from Trumas Hadeshin. The reason they did on Shabbos, so one of the reasons the Taz brings the oz hakol mitzuyim b'vatayim. That's the night, the regular night, like the night before. Not everybody home. Over there, everybody home. That's the night. That mashma many poskim saying it's not only the shalom zocher, it's a mitzvah like the Ramos says. The vach nacht and the brit yitzchak that what we do before the brit, it's also it's part of the same inyan. And why did they do it? Why they get together to that night? So the Taz says like this: ובדריש הווה מתשובת מהר"ם מנחם, מה שנוגע בשבת לבק אצל התינוק הנוער שהוא עובר על תרוסוי ששוכח. זה פרק מהפלס. This is the second neither the child forget the whole Torah he learns. The shtikel aveilus, we're coming like to Menachem him, to comfort him. So same thing, the night before could be the same idea that come before over there, that he forgot the story about Al-Kaponim. Definitely there's no issue to make the vach or the brit shel yitzchak the night before, and even according to some, it's even a mitzvah. And so the idea, again, doing things mystically without any logic to it, without any sources for it, like the goyim do, that's also mitzad nichush.